Hey, what's going on, y'all? It is Barb Meets World. I am back again with another recap and review for The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episodes 11, First Come, First Served, as well as Episode 12, Blazed and Confused. I know I'm late, you guys, but your girl was on a world tour. Okay, just kidding. I was not on a world tour per se, but I was out of town back to back between going to see my husband in DC as well as Mardi Gras. And I was also sick in between all of that. So it's just been a lot going on. So please excuse my tardiness. But nonetheless, I wanted to make sure I didn't have any gaps in my content and stuff and my reviews for this season. So I'm here now to kind of just go over some of the main highlights and the points that really stood out to me in these episodes. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I know you guys have probably already seen both episodes by now because these episodes, there was also the Super Bowl in between. And that actually allowed me to get a little bit more caught up because had there not been a Super Bowl, then I would have been like 3 weeks behind, 3 episodes behind. And yeah, we just don't need that. So without further ado, y'all go ahead, like the video on your way in. And if you are catching this after it premieres, don't forget to say hello down in those comments. And, do not forget to like the video. That helps me stay in the algorithm. That helps push my content out to other interested viewers. And please check the description box below, you guys, for all of the pertinent information. Let me go ahead and throw my banner up right here. There you go. All of my socials are scrolling along the bottom now as well. Don't forget to turn on your notifications bell so you know every time I upload. And let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so the first thing I had wrote down is I like Robyn and Mia better than the whole Robyn and Gizelle dynamic. If y'all agree or disagree with that, let me know in the comments. But I really appreciate seeing Mia and Robyn together. It's a lot less mean girl-ish to me. Like, yeah, they still throw their shade and, they still are who they are within, the core. But overall, I enjoy seeing them on my screen more than I see Robyn and Gizelle, the green-eyed bandits of it all. I just wanted to throw that out there. Wendy and Eddie, they wish their son Carter a happy birthday. I don't know what time it was, but it was super early in the morning. That was really sweet. And in episode 11, we also find out that Gizelle and Ashley are launching an athleisure line. I hope you guys can't hear my heater. You might hear it. I'm not sure, but my legs were cold, so I had to put on my heater. But yeah, you guys, let that just marinate for a second. Gizelle and Ashley, of all people, are launching an athleisure line. I couldn't quite wrap my mind around that. Like, two of the worst, tackiest dressed individuals on this cast. I mean, Ashley, no, I don't agree with her fashion choices, but we know that Gizelle is notorious for being the tackiest dressed housewife in the building a lot of times. So this whole thing was very comical to me, but I'm gonna let them have their little moment right there. And I think Gizelle actually compared it to Lululemon meets Savage Fenty, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll be the judge of that. Actually, let me look while we're at it. GNA is what it's called. GNA. Gizelle and Ashley. Let me see if there's anything up there. I think the season finale or whatever, we're gonna get the actual full line coming spring 2024. Yeah, they still only have the bare minimum up here from what I see. Let's see if I could share this real quick if you guys are interested. 1 second. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let me drop this down. Yeah, you guys, this is all of the products that they have currently on the website still. Like I said, I'm thinking that the final episode, we're going to get either a showcase, a fashion show, something of that sort. So I guess that's why they just have the bare minimum up here. But I'm just like, y'all make it too easy to make fun of you guys. I'm sorry. You really do. So we'll have to just wait on that and see, what is really going to give once they really do an official launch. But for now, this is all we're left with. Moving right along. Karen, her cousin, and her aunt, they all like met to kind of talk about their succession plan with her family's land and everything. And that was cool. We know that Karen is all about preserving her family's property, and she has some big plans that she wants to kick off with that. So I think that's awesome. I'm all about renovating and preserving properties. I'm really big on that. And if you can keep it in the family, keep it in the family. Like just, if you guys don't learn anything else from me, just please, if you can keep it amongst family, do that. Mia and Robyn, they met up to do a salt therapy session, which I'm like, next time I'm around those parts, I need to go ahead and do that because that looked really cool. And we know that Mia's really into cleansing her soul this season, so wasn't surprised that they decided to meet up and do that. Mia tells Robyn Karen's plan to do a lottery-style drawing of who's coming to Surrey County. I don't really see why she needed to bring that up, but at the end of the day, this is Housewives. This is not just Housewives. This is the Real Housewives of Potomac. Yeah, and y'all know exactly what I meant by that. So I wasn't surprised that she needed to bring up that little piece of information. And Robyn also decides to tell Mia about a couple years back. Karen went to show Robyn a photo in her phone, and right smack dab in her photo album, there was a picture of Robyn, her sons, and her parents. And she was just so taken back by this. Robyn's going to find every chance she can get to put Karen on blast. So wasn't surprised about that at all. And she kind of used that to say, that's the reason why she knows that Karen is just so obsessed with her. And I don't know. Maybe it's the Gemini in me. I kind of see both sides on this. On one hand, I'm like, yeah, that's weird AF. But on the other hand, I'm like, I have like pictures in my phone. Well, okay, maybe it's different because I actually consider the people in my phone my friends, and I mean, I don't feel like that's weird if I have if I'm looking good in a picture and my friend want to screenshot my picture, I'm not going to be mad at that or whatever. Or if it's something like memorable or something about the post, like I don't find that to be weird. But y'all let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. I'd really be interested to hear your take on that. What else for that scene? Mia divulged how a year ago she was making arrangements to file for divorce or whatever. We already know about that, and I really don't want to shine too much light on that because, and I'll actually pull it up here shortly, but we know that Mia has officially moved on from Gordon, so there's really no need for us to really sit here and continue to talk about what is going on in her marriage at this point in time. I don't feel like that is relevant because she already made her decision clearly, and I feel like during this filming, like they already knew what was up, and I'm not going to shed more light on it because that'll only just make it seem as though that'll just allow them to continue to play in our family's faces. So we know she's with this other guy, and it is what it is. That's what she chose for herself, and I mean, whatever, who cares? Oh, Robyn and Juan are not currently in therapy. Their issues aren't with each other. Their issues are just like about, okay, let's spend more time together. Let's enjoy life more. Y'all, I can't make this up. Was I surprised to know that they are not currently in therapy? No, not at all. Was not surprised whatsoever. And that's because Robyn, she doesn't strike me as somebody who would she doesn't see an issue with anything that Juan does. She has the blinders on as it pertains to him. So yeah, if you don't feel like there is an issue or anything that needs to be worked out, then of course you're not going to be in therapy, because therapy is for people that aren't, delusional and actually are seeking the help. You got to recognize the issue in order to seek help. She don't recognize the issue, so it is what it is. Wendy and Eddie, his whole happy Eddie thing, his business. Let me not say a thing. Business. I think it's awesome, an awesome idea. It's really cool to see him kind of capitalize on another business venture that is so out of line with what I guess he does on a daily, obviously as an attorney. I think that's cool. It's a very lucrative market right now. I'm trying to figure out a way to break off into that industry, because the money is definitely there. It's definitely thriving, especially out here in California. If you know, you know. So it was really nice seeing that, and also the fact that they support each other in their business ventures is very important as well. I know a lot of people I've seen in my own personal life or on TV and stuff, like I know that's sometimes a point of contention for couples, like where one person wants to embark on something but the other person doesn't really see the value in it or whatever, and it's just like, if you guys can both put your heads together and agree and compromise on those types of things, it just makes it way more easy. It really does. And to feel supported when you're venturing off into the entrepreneurial unknowns of it all, it's really good to feel as though you have people behind you that support you and also see your vision. That just fuels you to make you go like harder. At least for me it does. So I really like seeing that as well. Karen and Ray, they went out for a little happy hour, but not really happy hour lunch or whatever. I was really confused with what the hell is Karen doing with those chopsticks? I didn't even know, but whatever. Ray literally reminds me of my grandfather, like, and that's no shade whatsoever. But he definitely, he definitely does. Aneka and Ike, he was looking all over the house. They're still knees deep in unpacking at this point. He can't find his work badge, lanyard thing or whatever. So he's looking in all the boxes, and she's like, I packed like all these boxes and I totally didn't see that. So yeah, you should probably just stop wasting your time and go on ahead and get you another one. But she's at home, and she's also speaking about how they've always been long distance up until, again, when they got married or whatever, and she moved out there. I really wanted her to brush her hair, but I digress. And I'm like, see, y'all have always been long distance. You don't even know what it is to fully be under the same roof with one another. And you're so, pressed to bring a baby into the equation right now. It's just like, why don't you just sit back and woosah and figure out how for you guys to be up under the same roof? That's just my recommendation. I know that everybody has their own timelines for events, so she's gonna do what she wants to do at the end of the day regardless. But I just feel like since she decided to say that and let us know and place more emphasis on the fact that they've been long distance this whole time, I think give yourself some time to really learn one another under the same roof, because once that baby's introduced into the equation, like, y'all are going to be put on the back burner to a certain degree, and that can cause a wedge. So just take some time for yourself right now is my recommendation. But Gizelle comes over and she's followed by Charisse, of course, who looks like she just got off of a 12-hour shift down at the freaking local Sizzler. But she they talk about her. I think it was Gizelle who references Aneka as, intelligent and smart and witty. And I'm like, okay, well, I feel like that could be said about some other people in this cast too, but you don't ever want to see that. So it's just funny to see, to see how some of these women on the show, how they just have such a hard on for one another in the most negative way, but whatever. Apparently Karen gave Aneka a tour of Potomac, and she let her know that she lives in a North Potomac, okay, not Potomac proper. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, from what I've heard, I never venture up that far over there when I'm in the DMV area, so to speak. So I can't tell you from my own firsthand experience, but from what I have been told, it ain't nothing up there for real anyway. So who really cares if you in Potomac proper or versus actually being in North Potomac? It is what it is. But that's always that classic Housewives banter. We see that on Atlanta before with Portia living out in Duluth, and we've seen it. We've seen this on multiple franchises, so it's not surprising that we needed to kind of have a little key about that for a second. But Gizelle also throws shade at Karen for not owning her home, because that's always an easy read if you ask me, especially when your house looks like a funeral home meets a freaking plantation house. Like, y'all know how we feel about Gizelle's home. So I'm like, that's just not a safe topic for you to have anything to say on, Miss Ma'am, but whatever. I'm glad that Charisse knew that she wasn't getting an invite to Karen's Surrey County outing. I'm glad she knows her place in the group and knows that, yeah, you should be grateful to be there when you can be there, girl, because you don't bring nothing to the show and you're so tired to look at 99% of the time. But anyway, it's time to head out to Surrey County, and it's Karen, Candiace, Ashley, Wendy, and Aneka. Those are the 5 that we have that are going to be embarking on this outing. Eddie's Happy Eddie event. I don't know why I wrote that. I think it was because Wendy brought up the event and how she would be sending invites out for that, I want to say. And Aneka also talks about her unpacking party and how she, wants all the ladies to attend and whatever. And I'm just like, first of all, why are we having an unpacking party in the first place? Second of all, you can't afford to just have somebody do that. That's not fun. And actually, it doesn't even have anything to do with being able to afford something. I don't want to unpack, and I'm not. My bank account don't look like these ladies' bank accounts. That's not my idea of fun as a grown person. Like, that is something I loathe doing. So I wasn't really understanding why, of all events, that's what you want to do. But again, what more do you really have going on in your life right now? So I guess, you have to kind of grasp at straws and kind of, make the most out of the little bit of stuff you do have going on in your life, I guess. Aneka. And Wendy, she is going to be inviting all of the ladies, and with Wendy sitting right there, I think it was Ashley that kind of was like, did you hear what she said or whatever? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, they're trying to make fetch happen or whatever between these two ladies, when, I mean, at least me in the audience, I can see that fetch probably will never happen, and I completely understand why it's not going to happen between them two. But Wendy's like, there's been like 20 million missteps before we get to you inviting me into your home. No, okay, not only are you inviting me to an event, but you're inviting me into your home, into your intimate space. Like, girl, come on. Come on. You gotta be kidding with that. When you just referred to my mother as being like a witch or whatever. Like, come on. That's not cool. Like, are you crazy? I wouldn't be in attendance either if I was Wendy. But of course, a lot of people I seen in the comments and stuff and on Twitter and all that were like trying to find the fault in Wendy in this moment. I'm just like, how could you? How? That makes no sense at all. You're gonna say that Wendy now is the bad guy because she didn't want to take this olive branch, I guess you could call it. She didn't want to take Aneka's olive branch and try to mend things, or not even mend things, but try to just kind of skip over everything that happened and act like everything's cool. And yeah, girl, I'll come to your house. Yeah, I'll bring the muffin basket. No, what? Huh? No. What type of world do these people live in? That's like not a thing. Where I'm from, at least, it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but anyway. So right after that, they stopped to get some gas station margaritas. I don't know. Wendy was lit. It was funny. Wendy and Candiace low-key found Ashley and Gizelle's new business venture comical, just as I did, rightfully so. And a lot of people had issues in the comments too about Wendy cackling about this. And I'm like, it's funny. Like, a fact is a fact. And the fact is, them two are amongst the least fashionable housewives across the board. And for you guys to want to do a new business together and that business be geared at athleisure is just like mind-boggling to me. So I didn't really take offense to how Wendy responded by, laughing. But anyway, the ladies finally reached Surrey County and Karen's family is there to welcome them. They have a prayer. It was very nice. And then they go outside and yes, beware of snakes. That's like, I can't stand snakes. Oh gosh, I can't. Luckily, they didn't run into any, thank God. And after they do a bit of, the fake cleaning of the grounds and everything, they run off to have some Uber Eats. I don't exactly remember what they ate, but I know it was something in a brown paper bag. They sit outside and eat, and then it gets a bit awkward and silent. And Ashley used her and Candiace's ability to kind of coexist during this scene. And, they're not the best of friends or whatever. They're the best. They love to hate each other, however you guys want to call it. Ashley used that to kind of draw a comparison and say like, hey, like, if we're able to do this, y'all should be motivated to kind of patch things up too, right? Wendy and Nneka. And I'm again like, girl, no. What world do you guys live in? Like she said, 20 million steps have been missed. And I didn't find anything wrong with Wendy responding by saying she's a family girl. She likes to think of this as a sisterhood. And that's not the type of energy that Nneka came in on. So right now I got nothing for her. She also pointed out how Nneka called her the B word, which was very uncalled for. If you ask me, she escalated things with her language before Wendy even took it there. And she also called her mom a witch, which Wendy don't, play about her mom like many of us do not also. It's just crazy to me. It's just so crazy. And then, Eddie and the sister and everything, it's just too much. It's just way too much. And I couldn't understand how people couldn't see where Wendy was coming from in this. Like, I just can't understand how we can't see that at all. And I feel like it's just because people don't like her that they choose to have this, choose to let that bias kind of just lead their judgment and their assessment of these situations. And it's aggravating. But anyway, Aneka tries to say you cannot curse at someone and then think they won't say something back. And I'm like, she didn't. That's the thing. She didn't curse at you. You couldn't wait to get it started. If you ask me, there was so much venom. There was so much passion behind that B word. When I feel like Wendy wasn't even being that serious, she cursed in a general sense within the sentence. She didn't curse at you. You cursed directly at her. You called her the curse word. You called her the B word. Like, come on. I'm so glad production rolled the tapes back too, because like the delusions are really like real right now amongst this cast. And she being Aneka's like, you know, she didn't attack anyone, she just told the truth. And I'm like, we don't know what I can say we don't know what the truth is. So the people that are so quick to take Aneka's side over Wendy's side, I much more respect the people that are just like, I don't know what to believe. Like, this is just crazy all around the board. I can respect those people more than the people that are just so quick to take Aneka's side just because they don't like Wendy. That's just crazy to me. And not see that the how she was treated at all within this. Right. So Wendy expresses her disinterest while Karen asks her to keep that door open. And Wendy is like, no, you know, like, why would I do that? There's been an obvious lack of accountability. Like, why do I need to keep a door open for somebody that can't even take accountability for their actions that were so blatantly wrong? But anyway, moving right along, you guys, to episode 12, again, which is entitled Blazed and Confused. Ashley and Gizelle are picking fabrics for, again, their new athleisure line, GNA Apparel. Ha ha, he. Mia and Robyn join them. They talk a little bit about coochie sweat, and Mia's still stuck on being invited to the whole Surrey County thing as an afterthought. Girl, get over it. At this point, I could care less. We know what Karen was trying to do, and I can't fault Karen for executing and going about coordinating any types of events on this cast a certain way, because she is literally carrying that action completely on her own back, I feel like, this season. I mean, I guess if Mia was to have an event, I guess you could call Mia neutral enough, I guess, with everybody on the cast. But truly, it's truly Karen that has neutral enough relationships with everybody on the cast that she is the only one that can really corral everybody around and do things a certain way. So I don't fault her for inviting or second string inviting, disinviting. I don't fault her for how she came off at all. I don't. Sorry. Gizelle goes on to say that was just so rude of Karen to send out invites so last minute. Yes, I mean, should you invite anybody at the last minute? No, but I love how Gizelle always tries to put so much emphasis on everybody else's wrongdoings, but can't ever see her own wrongdoings, even if they were 1 inch from her face. That's just so wild to me. They then begin to discuss Eddie's upcoming Happy Eddie event, of which Wendy sent out invites to include Aneka. Surprisingly, because I wouldn't have, but I feel like production had a hand in that. They probably like, girl, you got to invite everybody. Like, that's the only thing I can deduce. And they also made mention that Ike wasn't on the list. I'm like, that's exactly how I know that production had a hand in it, because it's like they can kind of, I guess you could say, dictate what they can place extra like controls, and they can place their requirements and stuff on the Housewives, because again, they're under contract with this network. But I believe the Real Housewives of New Jersey, yes, shout out to Jersey, I believe they are the only franchise that has the gentlemen, the house husbands, the husbands on payroll or whatever, which is why they like get their own like segment and stuff at BravoCon. Y'all, if I am don't be afraid to correct me in the comments, but I believe that's something along those lines. So with that being said, yeah, Eddie is obviously not going to invite Ike, somebody that tried to come at him sideways about a freaking Facebook friend, unfriend, whatever. Yeah, Wendy probably had to invite Aneka, but Eddie, he ain't under no contract or whatever. You can't tell me who to invite. So yeah, of course he was like, you're not going to invite Ike or whatever. Totally not upset about that. Then we finally see Aneka, quote unquote, working. And I say that because we have not seen her do any type of thing that resembles work in the past 11 episodes at this point. But she lets us know that although she, is an attorney, her new business venture is called Vito, and it's a sparkling wine. She likes to start her day with bubbles and end her day with bubbles. Okay, whatever. Then we finally meet Lebe, the infamous Lebe, and she gave us nothing, absolutely nothing. She didn't clarify ish, if you ask me, and this whole scene was stupid. But they're followed by another friend. I believe her name was Chica, and Aneka. She has absolutely no appliances in her kitchen other than a fridge, so they take it upstairs. And again, Ike is away at work. We know that he does the travel medicine or whatever. He's a travel physician, but actually he just found a new job, I believe, that is going to allow him to stay home more or whatever, which I'm like, yeah, trying so hard for a baby and he just now getting a job where he can be home 24/7. Like, just add a sequence, if you ask me. But anyway, she tells him about her unpacking party that's coming up, and she asks Lebe if she's cool with Wendy being there. And the better question is, is Wendy good with Lebe being there? The F, like, because who is she that we got to be catering to her? But anyway, and I guess she was, because wait, actually, why did she ask her that? Because Lebe wasn't there, right? No, so I don't know why her opinion matters, but whatever. And Lebe, on the other hand, she's like, the better question is she even gonna come? That Wendy, for that matter. And Aneka's like, she invited her, and Wendy invited her to her upcoming event also, which she found that a little bit weird, especially coming from the place that Wendy was coming from when she was speaking on, invites in the previous episode. And Lebe's like, her whole point is that if you go, you're walking into her territory. I'm like, girl, you've been walking into her territory since episode 1 of this season, if you ask me. And the point, and even that language is just like, here we go, pitting these women against each other. Like they're two freaking animals in a freaking two bulls in a pit. Like, who? It's just so disheartening to watch. Like, this is totally not the way we as viewers, at least me and my homegirls, this is not how we wanted to see these two women be on our screen. But what can you do? What can you do? Over with Candiace, she's going over her lines for what is she filming at I can't even remember the show she's filming at this point, but the girl Candy Girl, she stays booked and busy these days, and we love that for her. So she's going over her lines, and she's telling Chris about her upcoming workload and how she won't be able to stay for Eddie's entire event that day because she needs to roll out and go film or whatever. And she needs him to re-up her blunt drawer or whatever, her stash, because she got a little happy stash of her own, which I thought was cute. And Candiace also asked Chris how he's feeling about seeing forehead and ankles. And I'm like, see, that's where I have to kind of like be like, okay, Candiace, I know why you're saying those things, and I truly don't really ultimately care, but I have to keep things unbiased. And I'm like, okay, because if they say something, if they call you out your name, it's going to be, you're going to have an issue with that. So I'm just like, let's just be safe, and everybody refer to everybody by their government names. Okay. So we can just eliminate that factor from the ever-growing list of factors that make this show so annoying and so just not nice to watch. Chris, he doesn't care though. He hasn't seen anyone since since last season's reunion, but at the end of the day, he'll say hi if someone was to greet him. And I'm like, you know what? That's a good way of looking at it. And I think that is nice that Chris is still going to go ahead and go and not let the issues that are still, or the awkwardness that is amongst people on this show, he's not allowing that to hold him back from supporting his friend. And I say that because I do genuinely believe that them two are friends with Wendy and Eddie. And Candiace, actually, she tweeted and showed her appreciation for how they treated Chris at the event, which I thought, signifies that, yeah, they really do actually care about each other, that there's actually one true, genuine connection on the show, thankfully. That was nice to see. And now we move right into the event, and it was a really cute event. Eddie lets us know that he currently has 2 strains. He has the energized Eddie and the mellow Eddie, and he's currently working on a third, which is going to be known as the Zen Win strain. And I'm like, okay, so that sounded like a sativa and an indica, and now I guess he's working on a hybrid, which, I mean, I might like a Zen Win. That might be for me. But since it's not currently legal in the state of Maryland, they'll be rolling oregano and just, spices, because it's all about practicing the technique at the end of the day, right? And some of the ladies, like, everybody kind of had an issue with that. And I'm like, okay, do you not know the laws? Like, I mean, what are they supposed to do? Like, I mean, that he couldn't be on TV breaking the law, like, duh. Anyway, and it's not like they didn't hand out gift bags or whatever that contained, some samples or whatever. So y'all be all right when you go home, whatever. Candiace and Chris arrive first, and she again has to literally run out. She says her highs, and she's immediately out the door, but she did not forget to grab her favors. Like I said before, she needs to re-up her stash. So Chris again is there alone, and as Candiace is on her way out the door, she runs into Mia and G, and they are also followed by Ashley. After the words that were exchanged last season between Ashley and Chris, Ashley says that she has no interest in anything pertaining to Chris. And I'm like, I would like to think he can say likewise. You, again, Ashley's another one. She don't want to see the faults in her actions as well. And I think that's wild. I think it's wild that anybody really has an issue with him, because I feel like he was brought into all the BS again, and he's not even the one that's under the contract. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, it just really pisses me off that we're sitting here and they're like basically villainizing Chris when there are other husbands who have done far worse things or have proven to not be ish on this show. Like, what the hell? Like, are we being serious right now? And again, that's not to say Chris is above reproach in all aspects. Like, he can do wrong just like any of us can. We're all human at the end of the day. But still, it's like, we're gonna sit here and label him as the bad guy, like, the overarching bad guy, when Ashley, do we need to talk about who you're married to? Robyn, do we need to talk about who you're married to? Gizelle, do we need to talk about who your ex-husband is? I would say, other people, but like you don't ever be having nobody on the show for real, and I don't count Jason either. So again, spare me. What happened after that? So Karen arrives, she's with Matt, and she's back to shaking hands with Mia. And Karen also immediately addresses her issue with Mia about the response she received when she extended the invitation to Surrey County. And I did feel like Mia didn't need to be, she didn't need to be like that if she really had an issue. If she had an issue, I would have called Karen directly and been like, look, this is my issue. But a lot of people on these shows have an issue being direct. So I wasn't surprised by how Mia responded. But Karen's like, you were first, you weren't even first string. You weren't even second string. Bitch, you was backup. And I found that to be so funny because Mia's just like, oop, and oop is right. Like, exactly. Like, don't be smiling yourself that much. Like, you lucky you got an invitation at all at the end of the day. I will say Karen, Karen looked a little, her face looked a little harsh in this scene, and I didn't really care for that, but maybe she just got it tuned up, so maybe it just hadn't settled completely. And shout out to Grand Dame. I love the Grand Dame, so that was not even trying to be shady. I'm just calling it like I see it, y'all. And she's upset with her because Mia knows what she's working toward with the group of ladies, and responses like Mia's don't help. Again, going back to what I said before, Karen is the only one that really holds the power to kind of get everybody in the group to come together. So Mia I don't want Mia to disrupt that, because again, there's so many elements that are lacking from this show right now to make it a good show, that let's preserve the little bit of enjoyability that we can, anyway. What's more boring, Mia's life or Surrey County? Honestly, y'all, what I have to say is Mia, I don't think she's bad for show. I want to see her on the show, especially because her life is literally as we speak taking a new direction, and I am interested in seeing how this next chapter of her life looks. And we know Mia's all about self, and she'll kind of do whatever on this show. So I think that she is of some value. It's crazy to say that, but I feel like she is of some value on this cast. I really do. And Karen lets Mia know it's her life as they're going back and forth, and Aneka slips in at the same time. She does greet Wendy and thank her for the invite. I will say that. Now, Gizelle, on the other hand, she came in. She didn't say hi at all. Kiana came in. She said hi. Like, it's crazy. So Gizelle literally walks right in, straight ignores Wendy. And again, it's her event, Eddie's event, whatever. Like, it's her event. That is super rude. So again, going back to Gizelle, when she wanted to kind of call Karen out for being rude or whatever by not freaking saying anything, or not saying anything, when she wanted to call Karen out for the late last minute invites, you need to take a page out of your own book on this one, sweetheart, because you came in somebody's whole event and didn't even greet them, as a host. That's next level rude, if you ask me. What Karen did is just kind of bad, bad etiquette, but it's something that I don't think is a major character flaw. What you did is a major character flaw. I would take way more offense at that than I would at a, last minute invite in this equation. And that's not to say that I'm somebody that you need to be inviting last minute, y'all. Don't get me wrong. Don't invite me last minute anywhere. But in this case, her coming in and not saying anything outweighs what Karen did. So again, hypocrite. Old dog learned some new tricks. You are the trick. Oh, that made me laugh. But anyway, and I don't understand what production's motive was by showing us all of the times that Wendy didn't say anything to Gizelle. None of those times were her event. None of those times were Gizelle's event. So that doesn't matter. When we're in a communal, when we're in a general space, then no, you guys can walk past each other all day. I don't care. But for one of you guys to go into the other person's event in my Tisha voice and not greet that host just because of some personal issues that you guys have, that's next level rude if you ask me. But again, people won't see that because they only see the fault in Wendy. Robyn also comes in and doesn't speak. Crazy. Wendy lets Chris know he's sitting up next to her, which again I spoke on before, and I thought that was very nice. I that they let him know that they got his back, and I know Candiace was very appreciative of that. Gizelle, of course, body shamed Chris while detailing how she hasn't seen him since the reunion. Completely unnecessary if you ask me. But if the roles were reversed, everybody would have an issue with that. Okay. Mia says she hasn't known Eddie to have a real job since she's known him. Y'all, if I couldn't make my cheeks any bigger with laughter when she said that. Like, girl, bye. Like, not coming from the wannabe businesswoman. And if you really want to try to be funny, girl, and talk about available lawyers, I can also show you an always available lawyer who may or may not make money. She's sitting right there, rolling oregano next to you. Like, this is not just about him being the weed man, you dumbass. But you wouldn't know what a real business was if it hit you in the face, because again, we know that you had your play briefcase and your play title at the family business. So what do you really know about business and having a career? Anyway, afterward, Wendy makes mention of how she hasn't seen, everybody laugh, like come together and be able to share a laugh in, the longest time. And Gizelle's all, did you laugh? Because I didn't laugh. Shout out to production for rolling the tapes back and showing us the many times during this event Gizelle laughing. Thank you for that. Gordon also takes off after finishing the rolling. So, of course, that opens up the floor for Robyn to ask Mia how they're doing. Mia says they're doing good, although it's hard. She can't leave him now because he has nobody. So what kind of person would that make her? Girl, what? Did you just basically admit you're over your marriage, but you're only sticking around because you feel bad? Again, not surprised by this, not even going to shed too much light on this because this is coming from somebody that is in a whole other, relationship or whatever. So who cares? I don't want this to be too long. So what else happened during this scene? Aneka and Wendy. Gizelle likes whenever a woman marries a man significantly older than her, she's going to have to deal with a lot. And I was like, you know what? That is actually something that we can agree on, Gizelle. Yeah, we can agree on that. Aneka pulls Wendy to the side to thank her for extending this olive branch. And although a lot has been said between the both of them, she would love it if they can get together and talk and hash things out and move things forward or not. Wendy was just like, look, thank you for coming, but yeah, I don't know about all that. She also goes on to say that she just wants to be sure that everything is rooted in sincerity. I can respect and understand that too. And going back to Wendy's comment about how things had jumped 20 steps forward, like this was Aneka's way of, I guess, taking that first step and having a conversation. Okay, can kind of understand that. But again, I understand that for Wendy, it's going to take some time. Like, that's still fresh. So, and Wendy's like, it's going to take some time again for her to process it, but she does receive what Aneka is saying and thanks her for coming. And I was like, I feel like that was very that's all we could ask of her in that moment. I don't have any issues with that. Aneka's confused because she saw this as an opportunity to move forward with her being invited to this event. And I'm like, girl, no, that was just production probably, but whatever. If it wasn't production, if production didn't have a hand in it, and yes, when you just invited Aneka and then had this energy, I would be confused. I would say that. But I'm still sticking to production had a hand in making sure Aneka was there at this event. So with that being said, girl, don't let it big your head up that much. Mm. It's just too much. Mm. Moving along, Gordon and Mia, they have a like sit down at a restaurant, which their scenes are very awkward all the time for me. Like I don't know how to take it ever, but again, don't really care about spending too much time on it because we're not gonna see Gordon on next season, I guess. Maybe not. Like or whatever. Like their marriage is over from what Mia says, so or from Mia's actions, I should say. So who cares? They're still in therapy though. They're trying to spend more time together as advised by the therapist. And right now, only day dates work because, again, Mia doesn't have a nanny. She doesn't have a chef. She doesn't have a driver. She doesn't have a hairdresser. She doesn't have anything right now. So they had to do what they had to do. And Mia said that all she could think about is that she's probably more so upset about not having a nanny than not, or I shouldn't say Mia said this. I feel like Mia was just more upset about not having a nanny because she couldn't go out. Not about her only being able to go out in the daytime with Gordon, but now she can't probably go and be in the streets at nighttime. That's what I thought she was more so mad about, but whatever. Gordon says that Mia cuts him deep and hard pretty often. So during this conversation, we can clearly start to see the threads of their marriage kind of just busting out, at the seams and stuff. And again, this conversation for me was kind of cringy. Gordon did make sure that she clarified that he was never physical with her. So we know that. But Mia's kind of like, she doesn't believe he was taking accountability for his actions that landed them in the boat they're in currently with his siblings. And translation for that statement to me is Mia's blaming Gordon for them being broke, and she's not happy about that one bit. And in a nutshell, y'all, if you ask me. She tries to say in her confessional, that she's not blaming him, but she's concerned that he doesn't recognize this about himself and how it impacted the totality of the situation. Girl, you don't care. There was also like some confusion too about whether or not both of them knew about her, getting a divorce attorney and stuff like that. It's just. And then they talk about Gordon talks about having an arrangement. Mia doesn't have anything to say about that. And again, it's just kind of awkward to watch them together. Anyway, moving on. It's now time for Aneka's unpacking party. Her sisters are there, and she's still under the assumption that Wendy's coming. And Ike, again, he just signed a contract to be closer to home. So I guess that, that's good for them. Gizelle arrives first. She's excited Aneka's excited to have them try a new adult beverage that she's been working on for the past 4 months. And she also references herself as Speedy Gonzalez. I'm like, okay, well, I hope you drafted a good business plan at least and not just being super impulsive, but whatever. Mia comes in, Therese comes in. I won't lie, the house is coming together. They're doing a really good job with their renovations. It definitely fits my vibe. I will give her that. Like in the color scheme, the aesthetic, it's very my taste. Karen comes in and says hello to everyone. And she goes in, she literally is like, hello, everyone. And Therese is like, everyone says hello. I can't lie. That was funny. I have to give credit where credit is due. Therese, that did make me laugh. It really did. Y'all, to me, Robyn's pajamas looked exactly like something she would wear normally on a regular day. It definitely fit Robyn's aesthetic. I just, y'all know what Robyn gives. I feel like Kiana was honestly the only one that understood the assignment. She looks so cute. I want to see more of her. Jeez. So Gizelle asks if Wendy was coming, and Kiana answers, and she's like, she didn't really feel comfortable. And my thing is, Gizelle, if you won't even look in that lady's direction when she's in your presence, why are you always the first one asking if she is going to come and then going on to try to call her out for being rude and saying that she should have told the host that she wasn't coming? Like, that's so messed up. And now I see why Gizelle and Nneka get along so well, because they both love to wonder about Wendy's whereabouts, although they both swear up and down that they don't, see it for her. It's just crazy to me. Karen also said that Wendy told her as well. And Nneka's like, it's okay. We're used to the disrespect. And I'm like, I'm sure Wendy could say the same thing. And Wendy's whole thing is, am I supposed to just forget that you jumped straight off the porch and into my face as soon as you came onto the show with such a vengeance? Am I supposed to forget that you said what you said about your mom, and now you're just going on to extend an invitation for me to come unpack boxes at your home and your intimate space? Like, that doesn't even sound right. Like, y'all see how crazy that sounds? And of course, they had to start unpacking wedding gifts when, again, this girl got married a while ago. I think they've been married like 2 years or something like this. So, girl, why have you still not unpacked your wedding gifts? Like, you probably, I wouldn't be surprised if she had unpacked her actual wedding gifts and then just created some new ones just to show on the show. I don't trust that girl. I don't. Gizelle has to comment on how refreshed Karen looks, again, because her and Robyn love to call Karen out. And I did like Mia's new green confessional look. I have to give credit where credit's due again. But Gizelle wanted to ask Karen how she is with Mia that day. And Karen's whole thing is, I brought you into this group. I never came after your marriage, even up to the point that I heard you were dating a rapper. And Mia's like, it takes a trick to know a trick. Karen's like, girl, you just want my life. Y'all, I can honestly see Mia effing a married man. I really can, to be honest. I'm sorry. And y'all, when did I write it down? I don't think I wrote it down. I don't think I wrote it down, but y'all, you need to go back and watch that scene because they were like bleeping out or whatever, but a girl keeps her subtitles on. Did you guys see in the subtitles that I think they said Lil Uzi Vert, and it might have been another rapper too? So was Mia supposed to be going around hanging out with Lil Uzi Vert and stuff? I don't know. Did y'all catch that? Actually, like the video, you guys. I'm gonna find it. Okay, yeah, found it. So they like bleeped it out, but in the subtitles, it was said that it YG and Lil Uzi Vert. So I don't know if Mia been hanging out with them, but it did say that, y'all. I'm not lying. It definitely said that. I caught that, and I thought that was worth mentioning. They play Never Have I Ever. The first question asked was, has any of them ever paid for the D? Ashley clearly thinks Charisse has done this. And honestly, and it's not even to be shady, but I can see Charisse doing that. Like, I really can. Rich, older, divorced woman, like no strings attached. Like, she probably, could pay some of the young dudes to come in there and, freaking make love to all the parts of her body and make her feel real sexy and stuff, and kick them out and let them go on their way. I don't feel like that's like weird or anything. I could totally see her doing that. Man, honestly, I judge Charisse for a lot of things, but I wouldn't judge her for that. I wouldn't. Of course, Robyn has to bring or Robyn's question was geared at Karen and her having the whole picture and her camera roll and stuff. Karen doesn't deny it, but she does admit to having a Robyn folder. Again, if the roles are reversed, Karen wouldn't find that bizarre. And I mean, I want to know again what you guys think. Do you guys think that that's weird? Do you guys have like pictures of your phone like that? Like, how do you guys feel about that? In the end, they all toast to Aneka's happiness and success, thanks to Karen. And what I was left with is that, all in all, Wendy is in between a rock and a hard place because she respects her culture so much so that she cannot even respond to Aneka in these claims because of the shame of this topic. And furthermore, by her not coming to the event, it only proves that, we're so able to, still have fun without her around. I feel like what is being done and the way that Wendy and Candiace, for that matter, are being painted is very calculated. And I feel like Gizelle is the main source of discourse on this show, y'all. I really do feel like that. You can't tell me otherwise. You just can't. But that's it for the recap and review portion. Before I get out of here, you guys, I want to show you guys quickly. When I say I don't care about what's going on with me and Gordon, it's because we are seeing everything play out in real time on social media. And right now, Mia is over there, I guess you could say, living her best life. She was out with her new boyfriend or whatever on Valentine's Day. This is for you, my number one. And she doesn't seem like she's coming up off him anytime soon. So with that being said, we don't need to get in an uproar over what is going on between her and Gordon on screen, because this is happening in real time. She's not waiting until next season to let this be known. I'm sure we're going to hear about this during the... Oh, crap. You guys can't see it. Hold on. This is playing in real time. So I'm sure we're going to hear about it during the reunion. Hopefully, if the questions were asked. I need to go on Twitter and see if they asked for questions or not, because I'm always missing it, and I be having things that I want to ask. So if you guys want to comment some questions below, if it's not too late, I would definitely try to push them on through so that they can get asked at the reunion. But yeah, as you can see, Mia, yeah, she's totally fine with where she's at with things, and he seems as though he's not letting up off her either. What'd he say? Mia more. One thing you can't get back is time, and I promise not to waste yours. I was told if you don't post it, then it didn't happen. LOL. If I posted every moment we share, this account would be disabled. Ew. Then again, we could share it on OnlyFans. Mrs. Mia Thornton. And the fact that her name is still Mrs. Mia Thornton, like this is what? Unconditional love that doesn't waver. You are patience, honesty, peace, and protection. I feel when I'm with you and you keep me deeply rooted in our faith, I feel so blessed to have you in my life. You make me better. I don't know what else was said, but it seems as though they're still going hot and heavy. And for that reason, I'm not going to spend too much time on what's going on between her and Gordon, because Mia's been checked out of that. When the funds dried up, she chucked up the deuces, if you ask me. And that's very on brand for her. Not surprised there. So y'all, all in all, this was my recap review for the episodes 11 and 12 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Y'all, please like the video if you have not already. Shout outs to everybody in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going after this premiere. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Check the description box below. Turn on your post notifications, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.